Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is just going to be a general election update. I record this Saturday morning, October 5th. By the way, happy belated 100th birthday to Jimmy Carter. I'm glad you made it to your 100th birthday. We're very happy for you and your family on doing that. Kind of the way we were disappointed that Betty White didn't make it to her 100th birthday, we're pleased that you were able to at least hit that milestone. And I'm hoping that early voting has opened in Georgia at this point, and that the former president is able to cast his vote for Kamala Harris as is his intention. Polling is coming out. PBS poll came out showing Kamala Harris ahead by a couple of percentage points over Donald Trump nationally, and 3 percentage points over registered voters, which is a more important metric. Now, mind you, this is a poll, and the polls don't always seem to be accurate, and it's probably because of the way that they're doing polling. I know I get calls, sometimes they're political calls, and they go straight to voicemail. I'm not interested in taking them. So for all I know, I've had polls calling me asking me my opinion, and I'm not going to answer it because I don't know who it is, and I don't want to waste my time with a telemarketer. You know what I mean? So we will continue to see how things go with this. Trump has been getting more unhinged. There's a Truth Social post to his Truth Social account saying that Jamie Dimon supported him. Let's see, who's this one? I'm sorry, I'm on the hill here, and it's got all sorts of ads. Oh, okay, we're back. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, who basically said he wasn't going to support any candidate for president. He just hopes the next commander-in-chief will unite the American people. When Trump was asked about the Truth Social post to his account, he says, "I don't know anything about it," which is his way of saying, yeah, I totally did that. And I'm trying to pretend like I didn't, Oh, I don't know anything about that. For the man who knows everything about everything, it's amazing how he knows everything about everything and then knows nothing about anything. So you got that little bit of craziness out there. He's also out promising that he's going to revert North Carolina's Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg because, racism. And he's going to start bringing back Confederate general statues. That's a great little tidbit on there. So while Kamala Harris is out, trying to appeal to people, Donald Trump is just saying crazy stuff. Like I'm surprised they didn't Photoshop Jamie Dimon T-shirts, diamond vendors for Trump or whatever. It's getting crazier, and we will get crazy. We're in October. We've got less than 5 weeks to go, and it's going to get crazier still because this is Trump's last gasp. So let's take a look at the election energy as we head up towards the election. Okay, that's for entertainment purposes only. What's the energy around the election as we enter in the first week of October? Page of Swords. Youthful. This is the time where young people are being engaged. People who haven't been paying attention are now starting to be engaged. And, we're a month to go for the election. It's kind of like okay, let's sit down and see what these candidates are all about. And Lord knows what type of rock you have to be underneath to not know anything about Donald Trump. But maybe this is more for the Kamala Harris folks out there. We've had a couple presidential debates and vice presidential debates. But what news are they hitting as they look in the news? Why, it's Jack Smith's 168-page indictment on Donald Trump for his January 6th actions. That's what's in the news. And now they get to make a decision. Well, what are their values? What are the values? So this looks like it's going straight to the voter here. In the past, the Ten of Swords, this could very well be people that just I'm done with politics and it's too crazy. I can't do it. It's too much. But really, this should be underlined, but it's in the past. The end of a peaceful transfer of power. And I think some people just between that and COVID, they tuned out of politics. It was too much. They needed a break. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Current situation. They've taken their break and now they're doing their civic duty, and I'll put that in air quotes to check out the candidates and who they're going to vote for. It's going to be a superficial type look, but maybe some folks want to go down a new path. Yeah, okay, here we go. Maybe what this is, they're tired of the drama, and they want a detoxification of the United States, and they want to go down a different path, one of not drama, but one of a united front, somebody who cares about the country and its values, because that's what they think is going to be best for the country and what's best for them and best for everybody. So they're going to go for the less toxic candidate, the one that gives them hope for a future. Young people especially are going to look that way because they have their whole lives ahead of them and they want to be happy. It's interesting, when Biden was running, he offered, debt relief on $10,000 relief on college debts, or stimulus checks. Excuse me, I think it was stimulus checks at that time. No, people were okay with that, happy to let their votes "quote unquote" be bought. We haven't heard anything like that this time around. It does make me wonder if it was legal to say that, but at the same time, it was a policy statement. We're going to vote for stimulus checks to help people who were out of work. That's an enhancement to like unemployment or something. Trump's certainly out there telling oil companies, "Give me $1 billion and I'll let you do whatever you want." So. What's the general vibe for the election? So, as we move closer to the election, I got a Knight of Swords just flipped over there, along with a Nine of Swords. So, expect we're going to see more things changing quickly, and there's going to be some anxiety along with those changes. Already, Republicans are in the Trump campaign are suing veterans organizations. I don't know if it was the VA or something like that. They don't want veterans to be allowed to register to vote. They were it was a story on the Hill, and unfortunately I just closed it, and I have to go digging it out to find it. But there was that little thing. Hang on, let's see if I can find it. Found it. A veterans group has responded to a lawsuit backed by Donald Trump's campaign that's attempting to change voter registration areas in Michigan, calling the move frankly insulting. The lawsuit was filed in July by the RNC and the Trump campaign against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, accusing her of overstepping her authority by turning several Michigan centers, including the Detroit, Michigan Department of Veteran Affairs office, into voter registration agencies in 2023. They allege that allowing voter registration at those sites is illegal and selective under Michigan law. Yeah, remember, Republicans don't want people to vote. If you prevent people from voting, the ones that are most tenacious and have the time to vote are going to be older people. Because they're retired. They got time on their hands. Older people tend to vote Republican. Younger people are maybe less tenacious. They have lots of things going on, and trying to fight to register to vote is kind of boring compared to all the fun things that you could be doing. So that's why they don't want ballot boxes on college campuses and things along those lines. They don't want young people voting. They only want old people voting. Voter suppression. That's how the Republicans stay in power. But let's take a look at the we've looked at kind of the vibe currently going on. What's the energy around the election as we get close to the election here? The Star card. That's good. Calm after the storm, and as like I believe Lena reads it, it's the best of the United States here. I think as we get closer and closer to it, the choices become really clear. And it's, again, especially for women, the choices are really, really clear as to what you need to make. Because people want they want a victory. They want a happy, United States. I'm almost getting the election results with that. And the Queen of Swords. And it's going to be led by the no-nonsense Queen. Now, told you this is what Americans want. They want to be happy. They want to spend happy times with their family. They want hope. They want a promising future. In the past, you got the Chariot. This election's been grinding forward, slow grinding forward, and things have been revealed during that slow grind forward. Current situation is the Two of Wands. Planning the expectations. People are getting ready to vote. Taking it, and in some ways, I think this is predicting a Democratic victory. And why it's making the connection? Here's your ground game. It's a term I hadn't heard before. They refer Education 101 for all of us here. They refer to it as the ground game, and it's a football term that it's easier to win the football game if you can run the football, because you can get a consistent amount of yardage as you move down the field, and you take up a lot of time off the clock, and you don't give your opponent many opportunities. The ground game in political speak is going out and knocking on doors, getting people registered to vote, knocking on doors, telling them about your candidate, encouraging them to vote for your candidate. Going to youth centers or senior centers, finding out who's not been registered to vote and helping them register to vote. Especially, if you've got your likely Democratic voter rolls or likely Republican voter rolls, depending on your political affiliation, you want to make sure that your people are registered to vote and motivated to vote. Usually the money that goes into the DNC or RNC is spread out to do this. Donald Trump has taken all that money, courtesy of his daughter-in-law, and dumped it into his campaign, which pays his legal finances and Melania's hairstyles. But the Democrats are putting that money into their ground game. So all these voter suppression tactics that the Republicans are doing are being countered by the Democratic ground game, which would mean that, mind you, when there's a voter suppression tactic, say like, this Veteran Affairs registration, it impacts both Democrats and Republicans. It just tends to impact Democrats more because more people would vote and support the Democratic Party. So if the Democrats are doing work to undo the voter suppression, the net result is you're going to suppress Republican votes, because the Democrats, they're going to take X number of people and they're going to get a percentage of them and get them to re-register or get new ones registered, which will counteract that, and it'll make the people on the Democratic side impacted less than the Republican side, because the Republicans aren't doing that. They're not getting people excited about their candidates. And, this is the time that people are getting excited about voting. Overarching energy is the Nine of Wands. We're all emotionally tired. It's been a long 8 years. It's been such a long, draining 8 years since, Trump started becoming relevant in 2016. And here we are in 2024, and he's back again. But we're almost there. We're at the penultimate battle here. This is the last month before we get to vote. Lesson to be learned is the Five of Coins. How interesting. No, I was just talking about people, voter registration and people being kicked off of voter rolls. This difference in this election is going to be people kicked off of voter rolls, as well as those who don't feel like they're being supported. On the Republican side, it will be people that feel like, the economy abandoned them, and they support Trump because Trump says, he'll make everything better again. So it doesn't become their fault that they're outside. It's everybody else's fault, and Trump will make it better so that they'll feel better. For Democrats, but also for Republicans is, as the big establishment says, we're trying to get rid of votes. These people get left out, and they would have voted Republican had you just supported them. But you locked him out of the party here. It's also For folks that are concerned about the economy or their future, who's going to provide them with shelter and clothing and food so that they've got the basic needs to survive? And if you can get programs in place, thrive. So in some ways, this is going to be driven by people who feel left out of the process. And it's decision time. The outcome is the decision, the actual vote. Time to vote. But again, I think the Democrat star is rising, and especially with women, the choices are becoming very clear and very stark. What America do you want? Make your choice. Is that telling me who's going to win? I've got my biases, clearly. Biases that will do a little 4-card reading. I really need to do a reading to find out if Trump loses the election, will he be able to flee? I've always gotten the kind of thinking about it, kind of making steps. I thought it was going to happen last year with the LIV Golf Tournament Championship, which was going to happen in November, and it was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. Then they moved it up 3 weeks, moved it to the United States. So Trump didn't have that excuse to leave the country. But I think his court cases got delayed so much that he just felt like he had a chance. And you think about it, he's been given so many chances. All these court cases, which, again, amongst the dozens of things that should have brought him down, Susan Lynn's 100 arrows and 95 miss, all these things should have brought him down a long time ago. But he's had allies propping him up to the point where he will actually make it to the 2024 election and not be incarcerated or anything along those lines. Given the energies right now, how is Kamala Harris feeling about the election results? How's Donald Trump feeling about the election results? A challenge reading here. It's the burden, the hard work. Kamala Harris, Justice card, awesome. Hanged Man, Judgment, the Devil. Good Lord. 4 major arcana for Kamala Harris. This would almost be the better Donald Trump side. What do we have on the Donald Trump side? The Tower. Oh, dear. The 8 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and the 2 of Cups. Underneath it is the King of Cups. Well, go Team Harris, huh? As the election gets decided, it's a burden. It's been an absolute slog to get here, but it's also who's going to do the heavy lifting, who's going to be the emotional support, the emotionally stable leader, who's going to do the heavy lifting. Kamala Harris, after the election's done, the Justice card in Judgment. Basically, people were willing to give her a look and move away from Donald Trump. She's going to get support from not only from Democrats, but from women, Republican women, other Republicans. For God's sake, Liz Cheney is campaigning with her. She's getting support from unlikely sources, unusual sources, who are all united to not give Donald Trump the keys of power to the Oval Office. For Trump, how's he feeling after the election? It's done. Here's Libby's health event card. Tower crashing down. He'll still try. He's going to say the election was stolen. Of course he was. He said that in 2016. He said in 2020. He's already been saying in 2024. He still has his allies, but those allies are going to be fewer and far in between. And now he's stuck. He's relied on allies to keep him out of bad situations, but now he's stuck in the bed that he made. I believe, again, it was Hawk on TikTok. Somebody had came up with a rather interesting point. It's like, when the election's over and it's been shown that Donald Trump lost, this person expected that Republicans will go on all the talk shows, all the weekend shows, something like that. Let's say it's obvious that Kamala Harris has won the Electoral College by Saturday. By Sunday, all these Republicans are going to be out there just totally trashing on Trump, saying how awful he was. distancing themselves from Donald Trump. It may be that first weekend, it may be the weekend after that. It just depends on how close the election is. But long and short, what's going to happen is they're going to, Donald Trump is if he loses this election and it's enough of a thing that he can't win it in the courts, he becomes politically irrelevant. It doesn't matter what compromise he has on you. He will never, ever be a political force again. And those people who've been running scared of him will abandon him because they'll feel like they don't have anything left to fear from this guy. Because what will end up happening is he doesn't get the protection, the political cover he's been getting. He won't get the legal cover he's been getting. He's not going to get oligarchical billionaire money that he's been getting because his campaign is dead. He is going nowhere. He's a 78-year-old unhealthy, mentally unstable person, and they won't have these people that have been supporting him. Trump's not going to last 4 years. And he's lost 2 presidential elections back to back. His camp, and he doesn't bring new people in. He only excludes people. He's dead weight, and they will throw him right overboard and let him sleep with the fishes. I could say hello to Luca Brasi as he hits the bottom there. At least he won't be alone. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I hope you found this reading insightful. It is for entertainment purposes only, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.